meme today. Maybe I sent it to you and your brothers. I'm not sure. Of a German Shepherd, and it says, "Me, only one cupful." That's what the bag says. Dog. It doesn't say 16 Oreos on the package, Trisha, but here we are.
I saw a thing of I'm at the point, because I haven't really been eating that many sweets. I'm at the point where I saw Oreos the other day and I was like, ugh, disgusting.
Not into it. I'm not a big Oreo person.
I used to. You have to have milk with it, but I don't have like a good milk to go with it, and I don't feel like going to the store to get milk just for Oreos.
Yeah, you got that freaky milk.
Yeah, my lactose free.
That milk in quotation marks. Milk.
Milk. Yeah, but it's good. It's healthy. So
supposedly, they told me soy milk was good. Now I find out it's loaded with carcinogens.
Yeah, I only like that milk because I don't use milk that often. Like I don't. It lasts forever. It's like it lasts like 2 months, which right then and there is probably not great. Yeah, but it's great for protein shakes. Yeah, it's great for protein shakes, so that's why I'll use those instead. Oh, excuse me.
Thanks for getting Dad onto those protein shakes. Now I go for some milk, and there isn't any.
I know you go through them like crazy. You're welcome. Sorry, my dad's healthy.
He doesn't do as much of them, but still, every now and then I'm like, oh, let me go get some milk. No milk.
Well,
get the blender going.
I might do. It's funny that Dad needs a blender for that. Just get him one of the blender bottles with the thing in it.
Well,
the shaker.
He uses
he uses the Ninja, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, the inverter one, not the full food processor. But yeah, it's quick and easy and get a nice frothy milk.
Well, Dad treats his protein shakes like they're milkshakes. He's like, let me put some ice in. I'm like, that's like Dad likes to savor his protein shakes. I don't.
Well,
you get it down in seconds.
That's like his meal substitute. He's not using it as a supplement. He's using it as a actual meal.
That's what I do too, but I don't make it last. Like you down that thing in like 10, 20 seconds. You don't.
Well, you're full then. You should put it in the blender and it lasts longer. It's like having a little milkshake.
Yeah, that's not the point. So I might do one after I go to the gym in a little bit just because I'm hungry. I only had tuna today and I had one of my pot pies. So
you're gonna get a headache. Well, that's a meal. What do you mean? That's enough. Tuna and the pot pies.
Yeah, but after lifting, it's not. You go through that pretty quickly.
Those are 2 meals, Precious. Just so you know.
Yeah, but not after you work out. That's tough. Plus, I didn't get my creatine in today. I gotta get my creatine in. Okay. So I throw that in with my little almond butter, killing it.
I still have your cough. That's
I know. I can't get rid of this thing. I've been trying my best. All the videos that I've been all the videos I've been doing are just coughing. What's up, guys?
Keep taking your zinc at night before bed. Even though you feel better, keep taking the zinc till it's all gone.
The zinc? Are you kidding? What's up,
zinc? Yeah, zinc.
Zinc at the end. I'm not really sick anymore. It's just the cough. The cough's annoying as hell.
Well, the zinc helps the body heal itself.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll down some zinc, mother.
You don't take a lot. Just take 1 at night before you go to bed and have your vitamin C's and D's. I'm sure you're not taking your vitamins every day.
I do it 3 days a week, but.
Well, now you should take it every day because you're getting sick.
I get sick once, and now it's like you gotta change your entire.
No. Liar! You were sick a while ago. You never got better, and then you got sick again.
I get sick once in 7 years.
Take your vitamins, you little shit.
Thanks, Mom. Anyway, guys, we have a lot to go through today. I just want to clear my stuff. I need put everything on silent. So here's how we do these for those of you that are new to the live podcasts.
We're live today?
Yes, Mother.
I heard you say it was starting, but I thought it was a regular recording. I didn't know we were live.
Okay. Well,
good thing I didn't drop the R word or
AJ good thing we didn't do anything. Yes, that's my mom. Yeah, so usually we go through the
shit allowed, or was it not allowed to say shit?
No, you could just. I don't care if you swear. Shit, yeah. So we go through the articles, and then in between articles, you guys can ask questions, and then at the end of the podcast, the end of stream, you guys can ask us whatever you want, whether it's YouTube related, family related, whatever you want to do, or if you want to just keep talking about topics that we've talked about. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan.
The format.
The format. Let's see. Can I share my screen? I know I can. I just have to think about how to do it. I know I'm having a blonde moment. Then we go to this one. Boop. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, mother.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get right into it. Boop and boop. God, I don't know why I'm a little. I've been editing all day. I've been shooting videos all day. I'm tired. Excuse me. Where is? Oh no, it's doing this again. There we go. So, I think the biggest news this week was the rest of the Epstein files. I don't know if you saw, but they've released, I believe it was 3 million new documents, right? Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
We've talked about this ad nauseum for like at least a year now. But now all the stuff's coming out about kind of the consequences of the people that were on that island. Now, there's a lot of names on there. Ones that we already knew about, like obviously Prince Andrew. That's not new. There was some Trump allegations, but there's really not enough there yet to really be like, oh, he was there. We have some from Elon, which is a little weird, but his aren't really explicit. But then we have the big one, which is Bill Gates. Now, Bill Gates denied this for years now, right? At least 2 or 3. And then all of a sudden, now we're finding out that he has quite the track record on this. And, you know, I think my big problem with this is why does he not get kind of thrown in, like, take Trump, for instance. Even though there's such little information in there about him, it's usually stuff related to him. He gets bombarded with questions, this and that. They attack his character. For some reason, Bill Gates just gets off scot-free from this. It seems like now that's starting to change. But, I mean, I just find it so funny that for the last 3 years, he's been saying, oh, I have no relation to the guy, and then I met him once. Now, all these stories are coming out about, I don't know if you saw the UTI that he had, and he had to, like, convince, like, I guess he passed it to his wife, and there's emails of him, excuse me, getting antibiotics from Jeffrey to, like, slip to his wife so that she doesn't find out. Like, that's a pretty legitimate story as far as we could tell. But the question is, how does a guy like that just get out of this as unscathed as he has been? All right.
I don't know that he's unscathed necessarily, and I don't know if they're building a case against many of these individuals and what they did. If you don't remember, these are all emails. I think you need more proof than just emails.
Right.
In the case of Bill Gates in the recent story, you'd want to talk to the Russian individual who supposedly gave him these transmitted diseases, sexual transmitted disease. So, you know, that would be firsthand evidence, blah, blah, blah. I'm just more, a couple of things you said here, right? You read this article, obviously, NPR. As soon as I saw NPR, I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. You go through this entire article. They must have, first of all, the whole gist was, all we heard was release everything, release everything, release everything, right? And now when you read it, well, they only sent out 40,000 pages of new info. We've had 3 million this past week of pages. I don't know what info, but a lot of emails and whatnot came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of it was redacted, and then they come around and they say, and it's too much is redacted on it and without any clear organization or context. Well, you want it released, and now they're complaining because it's not organized or with context. And then when the man in the DOJ handling it, when he says, we're doing it, it takes time. We have to redact these names. We have to have people go through it. Well, that's not good enough. They want more, they want more, than more. This whole article talks throughout about Donald Trump, and there could be something about Donald Trump and Donald Trump.
Everything in alleged,
something about the president. Even in the middle of it, they admit that he cut off contact with this individual, Epstein, 26 years ago. Even this article admits that, and that's still not good enough. Do you know the one person who's not mentioned at all in this article?
Putin.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton's been there so many times, and that's just a fact. Like, I'm very curious.
He's been a prominent individual at that place for the last, at least 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures came out when he was arrested. The infamous photo of him in the blue dress over his fireplace. How do you not mention? Okay, fine, you want to put Trump in there, whatever. To go out of your way and say, well, we don't know what actually happened with Trump and others.
Yeah.
That's the extent of it in this article. So right there, when I look at this article, take it with a grain of salt. They obviously have an agenda. I don't know what more you need other than, well, I know there's more coming, but 3 million documents, that's a lot that's been released. A lot. And a lot of individuals are scrambling. Okay, Bill Gates, yeah, he's a big deal because everybody knows him. And by the way, somebody had posted a meme about that and they put at the top, let's remember, everybody, this was the guy who was pushing us all to get vaccines.
Right.
The man who was subtly or allegedly giving his wife antibiotics because he didn't want to admit that he might have given her an STD. We don't know if she even knew that she might have had one. Having said that, the bigger one out of this that's not even mentioned is Lord Mendelsohn over there in the UK.
Right.
That man had to resign, and it's become an even thornier issue for the current prime minister, who was having trouble to begin with, and now they're really talking about special election, and he's going to get kicked out. Could be elected out of office. I mean, that's a pretty major impact from these emails. I laugh at the other side of it, of the Pizzagate.
Yeah, I did want to talk about that. Yeah, that were complete hoaxes, and then all of a sudden now we're seeing that same jargon is used in a lot of the emails that Epstein was using.
Yes, and as Bill Maher, not quite the conservative, pointed out, whatever it's about, I don't know, but it seems a little bit odd for all these adults to be using these childish terms over and over again in these emails if there's not something behind it. And that's really the issue. They sound ridiculous, so ridiculous that if they're actually valid, you have to pause and say, there's something else going on here. They're not really into pizza delivery, right?
Yeah. Now, here's the other elephant in the room, and this is where I am going to attack the right a little bit. So I kind of go back to, now we're seeing all this stuff about Kash Patel when he was in front of, was it Congress? And he was talking about how there's no evidence of the Epstein files. We have no evidence of him trafficking. That's a pretty bad look, don't you think? Right? Is that fair? Like, why do you think?
I don't specifically remember him saying that. I don't, and maybe he did. I'm not.
Yeah, there's videos of it
in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that it's small potatoes to me. I mean, deflect, Chris. The bigger issue is what's in this stuff.
See, I kind of disagree, though, because this kind of goes back to when Trump and Patel said that there was nothing, and then you have Pam Bondi saying we have file after file. Like, I think it's still a bad look for the current administration when they said, hey, there's nothing, stop looking for stuff. And now we have 3 million pages of emails, redacted information, photos. It's just kind of tough to ignore the fact that they said there's nothing and now there's tons of stuff.
Well, all right. I mean, I'll agree with you with that because from the very beginning, I'm like, put it all out there. I don't really care. I mean, if you're not going to prosecute people, to your point, then what's the point? Why bother? If we're not going to prosecute people, if they're just going to resign from power, which, okay, for these people, that's damning in a lot of ways. But why aren't they in jail like any other person walking the street who commits some of these crimes with minors? That's where I have a problem.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of I mean, to your point, no one's going to end up getting prosecuted except for, I think Lithuania is the only country that is actually going after people on that island and putting them on trial. I don't know how it's going, but I think they were the only ones so far to actually try and do stuff. But I know that
I'm not sure about that. I think they're building a case against a couple of people that were prominent. But the irony is, and I think everyone needs to take a step back, Trump said this from the beginning. It's all going to embarrass Democrats. Right. And I'll say 90% of it is an embarrassment to Democrats. And we haven't even, which is just the tip of the iceberg on this. Mm-hmm. Now the Pizzagate stuff is flowing through. Those were very prominent people during the Hillary Clinton and the Obama presidency.
Well, I know that the Clintons are going to be, I think both Clintons are going to trial, right? They're going to testify.
Not trial, they've been subpoenaed to testify.
Subpoenaed to testify. So, yeah. Okay. What does that mean then? Is that not a trial of some sort?
No,
or it's a hearing technically, right?
Right. So Congress subpoenas somebody. I'll remind everybody, they did it to a guy named Steve Bannon. Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't have to testify. I have executive privilege. They fought it, and they threw him in jail in Connecticut, a federal prison for 4 months. Same thing's going on with the Clintons. They were subpoenaed to come in and testify. When they realized that Democrats voted for them to come in, they got nervous because they thought they'd be able to walk away and not have to do it. When Democrats threatened the same thing that happened with Steve Bannon, if you don't come in, we're going to vote to hold you in contempt and you could go to prison. All of a sudden, they changed their tune.
Gotcha.
Maybe there were other things in play, I don't know. But now they want it in public, which I don't understand that, and blah, blah, blah. But whatever, yeah. So that's the only thing I've heard so far that NPR didn't mention once in this article about subpoenaing
the Clintons
to come in to say, what do they know?
Right. Now, the other big issue I think we're seeing online, and this is kind of general, but especially with this situation, the AI stuff is really getting out of control in the sense of now a lot of those emails are being forged. We know a lot of them are fake now. The question is, it's not really a question. We just have no real way of determining what's real and what's not when it comes to a lot of those emails. Like, it seems like they didn't how do I put this? It's almost like the FBI didn't completely siphon or go through all the ones that are real or fake, and they just threw everything out there, which is also not really the best look. You have one job.
Well, okay, but Chris, you got to square that with what this article's about. And that's what I'm saying. It's such a contradiction. We want it out. We want it out. Send us everything. You're hiding. You're hiding. Well, we can't send everything. Well, it's so out of context and disorganized. They want the chaos. And to your point, if something is in there that doesn't look good for somebody that they care about, oh, well, this must be AI or this must be fake.
Because there was
this
a lot of
real.
Wait. Say that again. Because I'm talking about stuff that like just users on Twitter are changing and throwing out there. I'm not talking about the FBI changing anything.
No, I agree. Okay. But I am saying
sure
they want it both ways. They want you pumping out the info. They want the chaos. So in one breath, they're bitching that we want more. You're holding back. Send it out. You flood it all out there. People get overwhelmed. Right? A lot of people wind up walking because nobody's going to have the time to parse through all of it.
Right.
And whenever person's out there, say there is a damning email about Clinton. Black and white, there it is. Oh, well, next you're going to see the article how it's fake. That was fake. That was AI, that email. It's not real. Because you're flooding chaos. So when somebody like, I think it's Todd Blanche, who was controlling it, said, listen, we got to go through these. We got to protect the victims in there. We can't just flood it out there. Well, that's not good enough. And then if they release the wrong information, well, they shouldn't have released it. You can't win when you're in the position of the DOJ right now. They can't win. Right. But I'd also like to remind people, too, the DOJ right now, I'm not a big fan of Pam Bondi's, but overall, and I'm not sure what's going on there in terms of the who's leading what, they're doing election fraud. They're doing ICE investigations. We've got civil rights that are being broken, right? We've got fraud all over this country. They're not doing minor things here.
Right.
We've got major investigations that usually an administration only has to deal with one or two of them. We've got 5 or 6. And then out of the blue, the Democrats who had this stuff for how many years, now all of a sudden it's a hot issue. Oh, you got to bring out the Epstein stuff. Okay. I always remember that. Democrats or the Republicans are handing wrong jobs. They had this information all during Biden's presidency, right? They could have released this. They never once brought it up. It was never a hot issue. Then all of a sudden, now it's the hot issue for the Democrats.
Yeah, and I also think it's a little I don't know if this might be my conspiracy hat, but it's convenient how all of a sudden these AIs get massive, where to the point where anyone can use them, just as all this is coming out. I don't know. Sure. That one kind of sucks too.
I agree.
What's up, Forget Me?
I agree.
Forget Me got
nuts. AI will definitely have an impact on any story going forward, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we don't have something that'll... I mean, as we were talking the other day with cars, right? Just how easy it is to break in a car using AI now.
Yeah.
Like, now we have to make defense mechanisms just for it to be broken again. So, again, the world's going to change drastically. And I think, to your point, information is going to be, I think, the biggest change.
What I'm finding interesting is when people ask AI questions that most people don't expect to get the answer from them, such as a pastor asked them, what would I do if I want to convince people there's no God?
Right.
And AI methodically goes through it. Well, first of all, you take away their belief in something, you replace it with another God, then you give them media, give them electronics, and blah, blah, blah. So it systematically goes through what you would do to eliminate a god. And I find that very interesting when you see that perspective of AI basically telling humanity, well, you know what? It works both ways.
Yeah.
We can tell you how to destroy humanity. We can also show you how you're going to do it, right? So
Right.
it's very interesting to
Now,
hear that.
do you think anything's going to come out of these files, or are we kind of at the point where they're kind of just for everyone's entertainment?
Well,
Good for
I
you.
think if my guess would be, I mean, these are personally, I feel like they're taking an incredible amount of time, of resources away from things that are more important
Important.
going forward. I not to say that I don't think the victims are entitled to this, to open up any cases if there's any evidence there, absolutely, and I hope they prosecute, especially if they were minors at the time. But I think if anything, this creates the leads for things like I said. Pizzagate was a conspiracy theory. We don't have evidence. We don't know about this. But now all of a sudden you're attaching it to names and people through these Epstein files. You know, now you've got something to trace, something to go by. But that takes manpower and it takes time. And I don't know, like as I said, there's a lot of serious things going on in this country that the DOJ is involved in and the FBI to some extent. Um, as a side, I was just saying today, I feel very badly for the woman out in Arizona, uh, the Guthrie mother who's been kidnapped, and they're trying to
Oh yeah,
find her.
Aunt Sue was telling me about that.
Yes, and I'm sure the FBI is involved, which they normally are when there's missing persons. And she's a celebrity case, and I'm sure everybody's interested in it. I just have a little bit of a problem with when the president weighs in and says, we're going to give any resources and all that's needed. Well, that's wonderful and that's great. But, here in New Jersey, they're looking for an adult male who has autism and they post things every day. Could you please help us find him? Could you please help us find him? He's a nobody. And I'm hoping the FBI is eventually, if not involved, but, as much as you say, oh, the FBI they should do these things or their face should be out there. If you're going to do stuff, I don't appreciate when you just focus on celebrity things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or at least let me know that they're giving the same attention to the average guy who's been missing here in New Jersey, has autism, and the family's frantic to find him. Nobody's going to hear about him, So I don't know if the president's going to weigh in on that one too. Is he going to start weighing on every missing person? So that troubled me a little bit. The whole situation's very sad, and it's already got a lot of attention just from the fact that this person's a celebrity. It's her mother.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because I haven't seen any news on that. Like it's not as big as I thought it would be. Like I thought that would be trending on Twitter if someone famous's mother got kidnapped, but it wasn't trending. That's what I was like, oh. But
it's been on a lot of the websites and on the news, the mainstream news, the broadcast news.
The other difference is one's a kidnapping and the other one is an autistic adult on the run, right? Or was he kidnapped?
Know.
Oh, okay.
We don't know.
Okay.
He's missing and they're looking for information. You never know. He could have been walking down the street and somebody grabbed him. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's an adult. So, it's just, and I'm using it as an example. There's lots of people get abducted, sadly, every day in this country, children and whatnot. And yes, I'm hoping the FBI gives it all the attention. It's just not a good look when we focus it all on, national. Well, we want to give all the resources we can to these people, or the FBI needs to do what they should do. That's true. But the FBI is supposed to do that for everybody.
Right.
It bothers me on the flip side of that, when I don't need the FBI giving full attention to that. When there's other stuff and other people that need it, it needs to be, they're for everybody, not just for, these sensational cases that come along. So in terms of Epstein, I don't know what's gonna, for somebody who's heard about this guy's name for a good chunk, even before you were born, Chris, Epstein's name has been in the news.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so shocked anymore about the people who have been in his orbit, given the fact that this was a person that obviously was, well, I shouldn't say obviously, allegedly did something for our government, was somehow involved, and I don't know what. But he was originally with Bear Stearns, was involved in government contracts and whatnot, all of a sudden wasn't there anymore. Mike Benz did a deep dive on him. I didn't really watch it, but there's more to Epstein than just being, I shouldn't say just being, but he got away with a lot of bad stuff for a reason for a very long time. And I think that might be part of why he had so much power and why so many weak people were suckered in by him.
Yeah, I think the real scary part is the fact that he was I mean, what we learned from the emails, I should say, is even after his arrest back in 2018, early 2019, there were still celebrities that reached out to him before he went to prison, like trying to get more parties in, right? And
Yeah.
that's like that's a little gross. That's where you gotta start. Like if it's before then, maybe people who are just like naive and didn't know what was going on at that island. But after that, if you're still reaching out to the guy trying to find a party, those are the kind of guys the FBI should really be going after. But I also think that what kind of throws off the trail a little bit is the Lolita, the plane, because of how many people went there and used that plane for travel outside of going to the island. And I think that kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in the
I'll say this. I think that's
plan.
old news, Chris. I think that's small potatoes, his island and the Lolita Plain. I think what we're learning from these is the bigger picture of the global. Now we're hearing more about the occult,
Right.
all the things that were conspiracy theories, the torture of children, allegedly. I mean,
The
and
stuff AJ
not
was
just
talking about years ago and no one believed him.
right, and I heard about it years ago. There's this whole the dark web thing, a whole thing about the dark web that somebody put out multiple recordings on. I don't know if it's YouTube or what.
Well, even
Somebody did it
Pizzagate.
years ago.
When we talked about Pizzagate back in the day, his name was thrown around on that island, right? When we talked about the island.
Sure.
So now it's like, oh, the crazy conspiracy theorists now have a leg to stand on again. So next thing you're going to know, the world is flat.
It expands beyond that island. Now we understand this is a nefarious network, a global network that it's satanic in the sense that it's just an evil that has spread.
Right.
And Epstein is the ugly face of it. Now that Chris, I heard this week Epstein's not dead. This is the new trending thing. He's
right.
on
That's
an
because
island
of
somewhere.
that's because of the AI stuff, and people were posting videos that looked like he was there. And of course, people just fall for it, or you have bots that promote it, saying, "Oh my God, he's alive!" And it's just the big one. Did you see the Fortnite stuff? Apparently, he was playing Fortnite after his death, and they couldn't figure it. Yeah, they're trying to track the email. There's some merit to it, but the username, there's certain things that didn't match up, so they were like, "There's no way." But
yeah, he's on the same island as Elvis and Princess Diana. They're all living together on this island. All these people that supposedly never died.
Right.
Please.
Speaking of bad decisions, let's change it up real fast.
Yeah, I couldn't read this because of
the article. Let me just disabled JavaScript. But this is a pretty bad mess up on our president's part. Boop boop. So Trump refuses to apologize over video showing the Obamas as apes. Okay, did you watch this video?
I didn't
Did
watch
you see
the
it?
whole video. Ironically, I did the opposite. I caught the awful jungle depiction of them, the two of them as apes. That's all that I saw in the game.
So here's where it's a little taken out of context. So it's an AI video of the Lion King, right? And it takes all the people in his office or in his cabinet at the time, where essentially it's a long video. It's a much longer video that has everyone on it, like Clinton, Biden. It has a lot of people on it, but then you go through it, and the part that all the news organizations are pulling is the monkey part with the Obamas, which is terrible.
Right.
Now, at first I was like, okay, well, two things came to mind. First off, it's AI generated. So it's not like you physically came up with that. It's more like the AI came up with that. And then I'm under the impression that usually people who are political figures aren't the ones that are really running their Twitters or their Instagrams or whatever. So some intern probably did that, thought it was cool, didn't watch through it, just said throw it on there. But then he doubles down. And I go, okay, well, that's an even worse look because then you're not going to apologize about it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just not a good look. I think this is a big fumble.
I mean, I saw it. I don't think he should apologize for it, but I would expect him to say, which he hasn't. That individual has been fired who was supposed to edit.
If it was
somebody did that, and by not saying, Mr. You're fired, who loves to say that, he should emphatically say, I don't think he should apologize. He didn't put it in there, but he should take responsibility for
Right.
if somebody on his staff or somebody who allowed it, somebody should be fired for that.
That's a
At a
pretty
minimum.
big mess up to do. Now, yeah, it's just, you can't defend it. You try and find a way, and you're like, but was it him? Probably not. But him doubling down just kind of makes it 10 times worse, in my opinion.
I don't know if it's doubling down. He's not going to apologize for it because he didn't do that. And somebody asked him, "Do you think it was racist?" He goes, "Absolutely, I think it's racist what was in there. Absolutely." But now they want, now they're going to ask, he's got to get down on bended knee. Screw that. No, he didn't do it. He should take responsibility and say some low-end staffer who I'm sure he doesn't even know and has never even met, but whoever heads up communication, whether it's Levitt or somebody else, that person needs to be fired. Bottom line, you can't do that. That's a big mistake.
Yeah, that was a bad one. Speaking of mistakes, let's just go right into the Grammys. I'm sure you watched so much of the Grammys, Mother.
Yeah.
As I said,
did we talk about this in the last podcast or no? Was the Grammys?
I think we did, but we didn't talk about the backlash.
Oh.
So I think the most famous clip from the Grammys, because no one really watches the Grammys anymore, besides Ricky Gervais putting in his 2 cents about how no one should. Yeah. Why are you giving your political statements?
They still aren't listening.
So maybe we did talk about this last week, but Billie Eilish gets up there, and everyone's anti-ICE, of course, and she talks about how no one is illegal on stolen land, which, again, kind of a weird thing to say at this point. But now, I don't know if you saw, but turns out her mansion, her $24 million mansion or whatever, is on a Native American reservation. And now,
well, it was land that was owned by the Native Americans.
So now the Native Americans are like, cool, we're going to take your house. So now I think she's fighting this reserve, which is hilarious. Like, if she kept her mouth shut, it wouldn't have been a problem. But it just goes to show, one, she's got no clue what she's talking about at the age of 21 or whatever she is. And as Ricky Gervais says it best, celebrities have no idea or concept of the real world. And we're talking about a girl who was a millionaire at like 14 or 15. So, which is so normal. So for her to be doing that is hilarious. But the amount of GoFundMes of people that are like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just go to your house and live there, and they're making so much money on these GoFundMes, which is also another issue. Like, that's got to stop as well. I think GoFundMe is kind of a dumb idea, but that's besides the point. But again, this is one of those things where now there's consequences to what you say. And these celebrities who think they're untouchable are now getting blasted because of this. So she's not the only one on there. Like, there was a bunch of other people that said some things about ICE, like Mark Ruffalo, who, again, just remember, everyone, the Hulk is the superhero, not Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, let's stop right there. That guy's a bum. But yeah, I don't know if you have any 2 cents on this one. I know you don't watch the Grammys anymore.
I think she's not alone. There's plenty of idiots in Hollywood that are out of touch, that think they know everything. Not to say that some of them are wrong in their opinions, but in her case, fortunately they're making an issue of her for every celebrity, and she's not alone. Oh, this is stolen land, and oh, we should give it back to Mexico, and oh. Well, now somebody's calling their bluff. Okay, I want your house. Yeah. You're on stolen land. It's a beautiful home. I want it.
Yeah, the $27 million mansion she lives in.
Right. And in a way, I'm kind of glad that somebody's taking it even farther and actually going to court over it, to make an issue of her, to say, somebody tell me, anybody, maybe any of your viewers, is there any land in this world that hasn't been conquered by somebody else?
Right.
I think even the North Pole has flags in it.
The Arctic
has flags in it. So just sit there and say, like, this is stolen land. Every land has been stolen. Even the Native Americans used to steal.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's just such a lack of knowledge it's like Native Americans and Indians fought against other Indians for each other's land. And then another country comes in that's more advanced, takes them over, and now it's a problem. So It's such a level of being out of touch and just lack of knowledge, and then to have such a big platform that you think you can stand up there or receive an award for your music, not for your political tastes, and then put your political opinion in there, just kind of goes to show like what the Grammys have become.
Right. And you know what? Freedom of speech has consequences. You stand up there,
Yeah,
you can say whatever you want to. I mean, it's an open mic. I guess they're allowing it now. You can say whatever you want.
which
You want to
is
say FUCK to ICE, go right ahead. I don't know how that's allowed on network TV, but okay, apparently all of them, every other one of them was, saying how much they hate ICE, which has nothing to do with the Grammys whatsoever, but okay.
yeah.
But there's responsibilities to that, and there's backlash, and you own it. And now the backlash, and I hope a lot of these celebrities learn a lesson. You want to open your mouth, you better be prepared to pay the price.
Yeah.
And it could cost you your home. I don't know that this tribe will pursue it to the extent of taking over property, but I don't know. It's just I think it's very important for people like young people like this to learn, and some of the older ones too. We're sick of it. People are sick of being lectured to by people who don't put their money where their mouth is.
I was actually talking to someone recently about right. We have Super Bowl tomorrow. Don't know what the Super Bowl plans are yet, except for eating an entire cake by yourself. We have the big halftime show this year, which is Bad Bunny. Right now, I was thinking, like, if he goes out there and he does his songs and he gets off the stage, I'll have some respect for him. I don't know the guy, like in the sense of I can't name a single song. It's a weird choice of person just because no one I know knows his songs, right? I know he's big in other. I know he's big in other countries, and it's kind of a weird decision to choose him because there's so many more famous Americans, like people in America. But that's kind of besides the point. If he goes out there, does his music, and gets off stage, I'll have respect for him because he did his thing, got off, didn't make it political. But if he does his thing and then he makes a political rant, then you lose me. Then you lose the huge fan base of the Super Bowl. I think it's more of a worse look than if he were just like, it's bad enough that someone who's not American, it's not that he's not American. The fact that you pick someone whose music isn't that popular here in comparison to other American singers, to pick him's weird. For him to make a statement makes things worse. So, and we're watching the Olympics fall apart too. So
my understanding is, and I don't know this for a fact, he's doing the whole halftime in Spanish.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Well, the songs are Spanish, I believe.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, he's a Spanish guy. I don't know. That doesn't bother me because, and here's why. After seeing the Kendrick Lamar one last year, where no one can understand him anyway, it's not that far off. So
I think, Chris, it's more the principle of it. This is an American
sport. Yeah, tradition. It's an American tradition,
American sport tradition.
I agree. Like,
perspective.
Yeah,
it's an American audience, maybe global, but you know what? It's like watching, the Tour de France, and they do it all in, I don't know, Chinese.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I agree. And I think that's on the Super Bowl committee. I don't blame him for being picked and saying yes, but I will blame him if he goes out there and has to make some statement, some political statement, when your job is just to play music for halftime and have a good halftime show. That's all you have to worry about. We don't need a speech.
Especially when a good portion of the people watching, I know young people maybe know him. I don't know him, but I'm old, right?
Right.
A good portion of the people who watch it don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
In the past, at best, they would give him one song on the stage with a well-known singer,
right,
an international singer.
Yeah.
Those days are over. But I've read some great articles recently. Today was one good one about someone talking who was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and they even did a little clip from the good old days. He said, "What happened to Super Bowl parties? What happened to, you got a thing of sour cream, you got the vegetable dip. You kept your mouth shut during the game and you talked during commercials."
I still do that by myself.
Yeah.
Thing of sour cream.
Yeah. Now he's like, everybody's shushing during the commercials and they start talking during the game.
Yeah.
It's completely become like warped as to what it should be as a tradition. Now, he was being funny, but I can't tell you how many people have come out since the Bad Bunny thing, but even in general saying the NFL is destroyed. The league is just a mess. They don't even understand who their target audience is anymore.
That's
And
true.
it's going to become like the NBA. You're going to see fewer and fewer people watching. We on the, for us, I could care less about the Patriots or the Seattle Seahawks. Not, maybe the Patriots are close to upstate New York where I grew up and I'd have some affinity. I could care less. And I think that tends to happen if you're not from those places. But when you start throwing all this garbage stuff in, like somebody named Bad Bunny for the halftime show, and he might have a political statement, I'm not giving them the ratings for that.
Right.
I will be shutting my TV off for the halftime and putting it on when the halftime show is over. I know TPUSA is doing something.
Which I think is kind of dumb too. I think I don't really like
Maybe
that
we'll
idea
see.
either. I think it's going to be the lowest viewed Super Bowl halftime show in America, but I bet you it's going to be the most viewed overseas. Right? That's how big
Maybe.
that guy is. I know he's big, but it's just such a weird, like, think of
Oh, he
all
is?
the.
I don't ever know. See,
Oh,
that's what I mean.
he's
I'm
bigger
I don't
than
know.
he's statistically bigger than anyone here in America.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but he's not well known in America. It's kind of a weird. It's kind of like BTS, right? The Korean
Right.
boy
I know what you
bands.
mean.
They're bigger
Yep.
than LeBron James statistically, but we can only name like 2 songs by him. That's how big they are that I can at least name 2 songs. I can't name 2 songs from Bad Bunny. So
Well, I'll tell you,
it's
there
kind of a
should be
weird
a
one.
lot of American performers,
Yeah.
country singers or whatever, who should be really pissed.
Like just
That's
like
an opportunity
I'm
for
surprised
them.
Justin Bieber isn't or like hasn't done it yet when he's to this day arguably top 10 biggest artists still, right? For 20 years now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think you should exhaust all the. I mean, I think Elton John's done it. He's British.
Yeah.
But I think you need to really, as a nation, we should be promoting American performers. I don't know, maybe Bad Bunny is. I have no idea his nationality or anything.
He's
But
one of the American BCs that we have, or whatever they're called.
an island? You mean one of the
Yeah,
islands?
one of the
from
islands.
Okay.
Let me see,
So, I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to judge it per se.
Puerto Rico.
Okay. If he's going to perform, whatever. I don't want it in Spanish, but you're telling me he's Spanish. Well, I think he should perform in English. This is America. We speak it. If a French singer was to perform at our game, I
You
would expect
can't.
him to sing
Yeah, but it
in
doesn't really.
English.
It doesn't. Music doesn't really translate that way. It's like you can't just take an American song, translate it to Spanish. It doesn't work with
Sure
the
they
beat.
do. They do it all the time, Chris. People do it all the time.
It doesn't. It doesn't translate. Like you could
Well,
say it
well-
with like um uh sorry, what was I saying? It's like if you take a Japanese song, convert it over, it's not. You can take the music, but it doesn't translate right. Hold on, what is this?
Okay.
From
Well,
Puerto Rico, so he's American. He's not a foreigner. No, if you're okay, so someone's
Puerto Rican is
it's
a
yeah, but it's not.
Commonwealth.
Yeah, it's a Commonwealth. It's not. You're not really American. Like
No, but no,
you
you're
kinda.
I'm trying to think of what your terminology is. No, you're considered a citizen in Puerto Rico. It's a.
But
shoot,
they don't vote for presidency, do they? Like they don't
No, I
take the
don't think they
president's
get-
vote.
They
So
don't get electoral votes.
kind of a
No,
weird one.
I don't believe they do. But they do have certain rights as a Commonwealth of the United
Right.
States. I think they're
They can go back and forth, and they have their passport, right? But either way, he's just not a bit like no one I know can name a Bad Bunny song.
But you're telling me internationally he's big.
Huge,
So I don't know.
massive.
I just have a problem. I think it just sends a bad it's not the best message, the most unifying message
Yeah.
to do a language that's not English. That's all. I mean, and I'm saying that if it was a French person, Dutch, whatever.
Well,
I mean, this is a football game.
As
It's
I
America.
as I said, it's not so much if he goes out there, does his thing, whether it's in Spanish or not, and the music's good, the show's good, and he gets off stage, we're good. I think every American will be happy with that. If you go out there and you divide the country even more, then it's a problem. And also, I would argue that even TSA or TS, whatever's doing the Kid Rock one, Turning Point USA, I would say that divides it even more too. I don't think that's a good thing when you're making a separate halftime show just because you want to cater to a specific audience and pull people away.
I think it said that we have to do that. Yeah, I agree. And what if the NFL would just get their shit together and go back to good old. I mean, because the Pro Bowl game, my understanding was tag football.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Come on.
But I think when you have the other big ones, the other one that's kind of stupid is the Black National Anthem, right? I don't know if we still do that. I think they did that 2 Super Bowls ago, but that's like
divisive,
it's such an awkward. Like, no, we're all Americans. If you live on this soil, there's one national anthem. There's not a separate one for other people. Again, I know you want your inclusivity, but that's not how that works. So again, why would you, if you want a Black national anthem in your city or whatever, deal with that there. Don't bring it into Super Bowl that everyone's watching. Like these sports
unifying national
these
event.
Sports companies, the NBA, the well, the MLB is actually pretty good about it, but NFL, whatever, get politics out of our sports. When we go to watch sports, we're trying to get away from politics. Same with video games. I don't need politics in video games, right? So you can't push an agenda and then expect people to watch it because you have eyes on you. And that's why I think the Olympics this year are such a joke, right? I was talking to someone today about this. No one in America watches the Olympics anymore. Like maybe a handful of people. So, now
Dad and I did catch curling.
Oh yeah.
The Americans were taking on the British, and the American newscaster, it really bothered me more than the fact that the Americans didn't win. Said, "Oh, the first loss for the Americans." Like, that's really a shitty way of saying it. The first loss, as though there's many more to come. You know what I mean? It rubbed me the wrong way. Oh, the first loss, and it's not even. I mean, they're still competing. It's not like they're eliminated.
Well, I think you saw that one dipshit, the American Olympian, who was like, "I may have the American flag on my coat, but that doesn't mean I represent the country." Like, how much of a moron how much of a retard do you have to be to say something that stupid? So I don't even know what sport he is, but how to kill your any chance you had at a sponsorship or whatever like that, you just really screwed yourself there.
Yeah.
So again, let's stick to sports. Let's not have our politics in stuff. So
the MLB has the most number of Republicans.
It's all 80-year-olds.
Surprisingly, I thought the NHL,
amongst the players.
Yes, I thought the NHL would be the highest. It was MLB first, then it was the NHL.
I want you to know, live restricted for some audiences. Your life contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Hate speech and hateful behaviors. TikTok's such a shit show now. It's such a shame.
Is that us?
Yeah, that's TikTok. Hateful? Yeah, that's TikTok for you. So we got our first violation of the night. Hey, TikTok, it's going to get worse.
Yes.
Yeah. TikTok's been having a lot of issues, so whatever. Go ahead. Continue.
No, so I'm just agreeing with you in the sense that the baseball tends to be Republican based, but they also have some Democrats, certain number of independents. I always thought it was the NHL because, and to their credit, I didn't really know the politics of the NHL, but the NHL seems to be the only league that doesn't take crap from anything. They don't want any political stuff. They're not wearing your flag. They're not putting labels on their jersey. And fortunately, the organization backs the players up. They don't want to do that stuff because they're learning. You go down that hole. If you pick one thing, you're going to alienate a group of people. And to your point, it's a sport. This isn't a political event. It's a sport. So
remember, which team was it last year? They did that. What was it? It was memory for one of the teams did something dumb. I feel like it was the White Sox or something. And their
Dodgers.
The Dodgers, it just tanked them, remember?
Yeah.
And then they ended up winning the World Series.
Doubling the LA Dodgers. They keep doubling down and tripling down. More bad choices. They had the nuns there, the drag nuns.
That's right. Yeah. What a bad idea.
Right. And that's the one group that brings the numbers down. That's the group of liberals on
But they ended up winning the World Series, so it's tough to right. Shohei Ohtani just dominates. Okay. Anyway, let's see if we can move on. What do we got else? We have a lot more fun news. I don't know if you want to get into the fun ones. I think we're pretty much done with all the political stuff.
Well, I mean,
how about this one?
hold on. Let me just say this. You mentioned TikTok, and it was an article I pulled up about TikTok, and there was a portion of it about the liberal women's being
Yeah,
um,
that's the one that I was just about to pull for
inundated
you.
by the TikTok data, blah blah blah. But what I found interesting in the article is they had a good point. TikTok finds, and you know this from algorithms, right? They find what triggers your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it feeds more of what's your interest until it becomes like they put it your moral standard. And they put some statistics in this article about, if you think about it, you're going to this particular group gets their information from, yes, broadcast news, right? They also get it from social media and from TikTok, right? And many of them say TikTok. They think they're well versed because they're going to three sources, right? So in their
Yeah.
mind, they're getting a lot of information. But the point they're trying to make about, and this is the Daily Signal, but the point they're making, which is really true, when you're looking at the same type of information, even though it's coming from three different sources, doesn't mean you're getting different points of view.
Right.
And when you have something like TikTok, which you've explained to me with the algorithms, and probably Google too, which we know also, they look at what you look at and they send you more of it, right? So that's that echo chamber that they talk about. But
Yeah.
now these individuals are going to the farm to the echo chambers. They're not going outside of it, even though I'm going to all these different places, so I know more than you, Chris, because
Yeah.
I go to
The
all
the
these places.
algorithms, especially for TikTok and Instagram's the same way. It's not so much based on your likes and your likes, your dislikes, and your bookmarks or whatever. It's actually
Yeah,
based on time watched. So if you watch something slightly longer than another thing, it's going to show you more of that because of the time, right? So
right.
that's where it gets a little. I don't want to call it manipulative, but they really used real nitpicked statistics to really drive you one way. So, yeah, I'm sure this is
Right.
true.
Right, and it's true, and I'm saying this not just specifically about these individuals, about all of us, really. When you're looking at the same sources, even though you think you're going to different places, right?
Hmm.
And the way they put it, and the person writes it in this article, interestingly, that it becomes your moral standard. When you're seeing it in three different spots, you go, well, okay, this must be my truth,
Hmm.
right? I'm seeing it from all these different
All right.
places, and they're all saying it. They're all, I'm
Hey, Benny.
understanding, I'm agreeing with what they're saying. Those things then become what's wrong, and then they turn it into evil.
Yeah.
So your opinion, Chris, isn't wrong because it's different than mine. You're evil for having that
Yeah.
opinion. This is where it's advancing to, and that's why it's a problem. And that's why, like for Fox News, for
Oh,
instance,
thanks for liking.
people watch that all day long. I don't know how they do that because it's the same stories over all day long.
Right.
And the NBC does it, CBS, CNN does it. It's like, okay, give me one. All right, I got your opinion. Some have better with facts than others, but it's literally the same stories over and over. And that's that 24/7 news cycle.
I would
And
even
when now
say, I would even
go
say
ahead.
from an algorithmic standpoint, I think just being in a major city, your algorithm's going to be one way or another. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's just personal. Like, oh, this is what I'm watching. I think if they know you live in a liberal city, they're going to promote things in that city very liberally.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that the algorithms are getting worse in the sense of pushing a narrative that you will agree with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and they're saying Minneapolis is now seeing the corrections of the majority outside that echo chamber. So this is what happens. But you also have to factor in, and I'm going to cut TikTok some slack here. When I hear these individuals are getting paid, some of them $80 to $100,000 a year, these protesters are making.
mm-hmm.
Being paid that level, not just for this, but they go all over. It's their job, if you will. Boy, that's a huge incentive for me to believe something that maybe I really am indifferent about.
Mm-hmm.
I'll carry the sign and get a paycheck. So it's really kind of perverse what it's become. It seems to be either people who maybe a small amount actually believe this, that hey, I know what you're saying, people on the right, but I disagree and I'm going to protest. Then you got an enormous amount of them getting paid to do it, and then you get the ones in the middle who are this is evil and wrong, and these people should be killed, the ICE people, because what they're doing is wrong. They really believe this because that's the information.
Yeah, if you push them
every
one
person
way
knows
and show
Right.
them the worst of the worst things, like how many? I mean, again, it's unfortunate that we've lost two people, Renee Good and that Alex Purdy guy. But at the same time, it's like, what about all the good things that they've done? Like all the ones that didn't go bad, that were actual criminals that need to leave this country, right?
Yeah.
You don't see those. Excuse
No.
me. So
No, they don't want you to see those.
exactly.
They don't want you to see
And
these
if I
individuals.
guarantee you, if you're living in Minnesota and you go to TikTok, you're not seeing the good ones, right?
No.
So
No.
that's what I mean. I
And
think
even,
place matters.
and that's unfortunate because these people aren't seeing it on TikTok.
Oh
They're
yeah.
not getting that feed. They're not seeing this is who ICE is removing because I don't think it meshes with the algorithm of what they're looking at for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Which it helped me to understand. I'm like, how could people be this, blinded and just look at what? Now I'm starting to get it and how that manipulation happens. We know it happens with kids, and I don't think we talked about it yet, but there are lawsuits now from parents of kids who have become addicted to social media. And it's a real issue for Facebook and Google, and they're all going to
yeah.
There's going to be trials over this. So now we understand it. The mental addiction, the drug.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Olympics real fast. Now, I saw this one. Now, we've talked about this. We knew this. So this isn't really new information, but I guess it's a little more fact right now.
Yeah.
So the Olympic boxer who won the Olympics last season, I say season, but last Olympics, I should say. Technically,
Olympics,
yeah. So the lady
Summer
the lady that absolutely dominated the women's boxing, we find out wasn't really completely a woman. So I thought
she actually admits. I'll say she, but I don't even know anymore because the person.
I mean, it's still a she. It is someone who's biologically female, but has.
Yeah, she has a disorder. She's not transgender. She has a disorder. She's an Algerian boxer, Iman Khalif.
Yep.
She admits to being basically a biological male.
Yeah.
Says that she has the SRY gene on a Y chromosome.
Right.
Well,
okay, but hold on. Now here's the question, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't think she was born a certain way, right?
Yes.
She was born a certain way, born female, has higher testosterone than most females, right? Because of this gene.
Yeah.
She's natural. It's not like she's taking anything. Is it cheating?
No, that's not true. No. She was taking drugs to suppress her testosterone.
Damn, all the more reason why she probably deserves it then.
Yeah,
if she's suppressing testosterone and still dominated.
No, go, scroll down, please. No, up then. Scroll up. Sorry, up. Boom, stop.
I have taken hormone treatments to lower my testosterone levels for competitions, he said.
Yeah, he reveals that he underwent hormone therapy ahead of the Olympics in an effort to reduce her testosterone levels. So, yeah, quote, I have taken hormone treatments to lower my testosterone levels for competition.
Right, it keeps saying he, but she it's definitely a she with higher testosterone, naturally born that way. Then taking
hold on. No. This individual has a disorder.
Right.
Where they're not female and they're not male. She was raised as female, or so she says. She says, I've always been treated as a girl. So they, in essence, kind of picked the gender.
I don't think that's what this is saying. I think this is literally someone that was born a female and just carries more testosterone because of a disorder in the Y chromosome.
No, she said she was raised as a girl.
Yeah, but she says, I'm not a trans woman. I am a girl. I was raised as a girl, grew up as a girl. The people in the village have always known me as a girl.
Right, so, but the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, now has rules about that. No males are allowed in female sports. If you have...
But I don't think it's a male.
No, based on their definition from a hormone perspective.
So it's based on levels of testosterone.
We don't know if they're going to take this person's medal away. Because, I mean, obviously, and anecdotally, by the way, the two women that went in the ring with this individual admitted they've never been hit that hard in their lives.
Yeah, but okay, you're going up against another Olympian. I'm a little more on this person's side in the sense of if it's completely natural and she was taking stuff to suppress her testosterone because she's that above everyone else and she is a biological female, right? I would say that is just someone with freak genetics.
I can't answer that. Based on everything I'm seeing and what they're saying is this person has a disorder that does, unfortunately, exclude them from being in the Olympics. Sorry.
Is that in the rules yet, or is that going to be in the rules?
Well, they've already voted on this to say no more males, and they have their definition of what a male is, can compete in women's sports going forward.
Sure, but you can't. I mean, going forward, yes. So she won't be able to compete as a female. Next,
the new policy will also cover athletes with something called differences of sex development.
DSD.
DSD. IOC procedure has been to allow each sport's governing body to make policy decisions regarding transgender athletes, but thankfully for the biological female athletes, the IOC has undergone a leadership change, which has in turn prompted the rule change. So in other words, having a sex development disorder, which this individual has, excludes you.
At the time, that rule didn't exist. So I don't think she should have her medal taken away if the rule at the time didn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. If person competed and they said you won the gold medal based on what the rules were at the time, yes. Unless somebody makes the case that, they lied and didn't say that they were doing hormone suppression. Maybe she lied. I don't recall at the time what the ruling was. But, that picture on the left to me, Chris, that does not say to me, I'm a girl.
Oh, we're going by facial features now? Wow.
No, I'm going by facial, and I'm going by shirt and body strength and build, and just in general. If that person walked by, it is reasonable for me to say that's a male.
Mom, if I was born a woman and I was still built like this, you better throw me in the Olympics. But you better. You should have thrown me in the Olympics. I would have brought home gold every time. Put me in boxing. I would beat the shit out of some women.
I'm not even going down that road, Chris. I'm not even going down that road.
All right, let's get into more fun stuff. So, YouTube revenue revealed for the first time, and it absolutely crushed Netflix. Crushed it. Now, I actually did a video recently about how YouTube's viewership in long-form content has just plummeted. And although I'm not exactly wrong, this is just revenue from YouTube Premium. So I don't know if you saw, but Netflix is upping their price again. It's going to be $50 a month, which I know for a fact there's not that much good stuff on Netflix. There's no way there's that much good stuff.
Wait a minute, you're talking about the regular streaming price is going to be $50?
It's going to go up to $50 a month on Netflix.
Oh, nobody's going to pay
How
that.
ridiculous is that? Now, on YouTube, I don't know what YouTube's is monthly, but I think for YouTube TV and like a YouTube Premium, I think it's $80 a month. I should know this as a YouTuber. Let me check. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa. US Premium is $14 a month. Other options, so like a family plan for 6 users, is $23 a month.
This is YouTube you're talking about?
YouTube.
Okay.
So if you, for a year, it's $140. So Netflix 24 price increases. So Netflix right now, their premium, no ads, 4K, HDR, whatever, 4 devices, is $30 a month. Netflix, I'm gonna type in is Netflix just because I want to check.
Can I just say though, Chris, I read this article. It's not apples to apples.
It's kind of not. That's kind of the point. So you're paying
YouTube
for
does all this other stuff.
Exactly.
Netflix doesn't do that. They just do. So I don't know why they're making a comparison. I mean, YouTube had a great year. Hey, great. We knew that. We knew that from the beginning, from the forecast.
It just goes to show how dominant they are in every aspect of, like whether it's streaming, short form videos, long form videos. Like they've really nailed how to do it right. But I will say this. I don't know. Clearly, I'm wrong here, but I've never even seen how to buy a movie on. Like when people buy premium, I don't know if they're buying premium so they can watch movies on YouTube or because they don't want advertisements. They want to be able to listen to music without having to turn their phone off, which should just be a feature in general. YouTube, figure it out. Or just because most people get more of their content now from YouTube, not TV. So it makes sense to have YouTube Premium. It just makes more sense to have YouTube Premium. That's all I have to say. But they made $60 billion last year.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
But it's a bigger. But in spite of that, I think they were still behind Disney Plus. Believe it or not, I thought that the article said that Disney Plus came in higher. Maybe from just the streaming, but I'm like, and I can't get my Disney stock to, for the life of me. I can't get it back to where it used to be. I'm like, how the hell is Disney Plus doing better than YouTube? But I just found it like an odd comparison of YouTube. Why pick Netflix? You know,
it says
Netflix.
Sorry, it says YouTube is currently more successful than Disney Plus in terms of overall viewership, revenue, and market dominance. With over $50 billion in annual revenue, Top Rankings TV, YouTube has passed Disney, Netflix, HBO viewership.
I thought Disney Plus was doing better at something than YouTube was. Was it streaming?
Probably maybe movies, like streaming movies. But as you said, YouTube makes so much money outside of that I would almost say I would. Yeah,
Disney does it through their parks, and they have other things too. I get it, marketing. Yeah. But Netflix is just a streaming platform. Am I missing something here? They don't do games. They don't do stuff that YouTube's involved in. So why are you comparing it to them?
Yeah, I would love to see a comparison of just movies, like streaming movies.
But isn't that in the article?
No, it doesn't really do a great comparison. It just says that their revenue. It's not really apples to apples. It just says that YouTube made $34 billion just in their last quarter, which is, I mean, dumb. Subscriptions across. Alphabet CEO says they have 325 million paid subscriptions across its consumer services. That's so crazy. I've never heard of this guy.
It's a large company.
I want to see what this guy. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was the CEO of Google, not the CEO of Alphabet.
Well, Alphabet is Google, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is. It owns it. I didn't know he was the CEO of Alphabet. I thought he was the CEO of YouTube. So then who's the?
No, Alphabet, which owns YouTube and the Google is under.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's interestingly enough, though, Chris, if it continues to get so big, they're going to talk about breaking it up. I mean, that's huge. Google and YouTube,
well, you'd break up. Yeah, I don't know how you would do that though. I would hate
break up YouTube.
Yeah, I would
break up Google.
Well, it's kind of its own. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of its own company. Like YouTube and Google. I was talking about this somewhat recently, or I forget who I was talking to this about. But I think Uncle. But it's completely separate. Like it's almost like it has no real connection to Google. The only thing Google that YouTube has is when you sign into your account. Other than that, it's not like you're really getting anything Google advertised, if that makes sense.
Right, but from a stock perspective, there's no YouTube stock. It's all Alphabet is stock. And that tends to happen. I mean, the company, when they report on the whole company for the stock itself. And just point being, if they have too much market share in certain areas, then you get into that whole issue of, are they dominating to the point of a monopoly? Can Netflix still compete? Right now, I think there's still room. Netflix makes enough money. Apple TV makes enough money. Yeah. But sometimes things get so big that they start talking about, hey, you really need to break this thing up.
I'm curious to see how Paramount does this year. Because with the new UFC buyout and all the other stuff on Paramount, I'm curious to see where they come in. I wonder if there'll be a close second.
There's a big fight going on right now between Warner Brothers, Paramount, and who's the one that wants to take them over? They want to do that merger. So I'm constantly getting notifications about that.
Really?
But for the life of me, I can't remember the one involved. It's Warner Brothers, Paramount, and who's the other one? Anyhow, yeah, that's probably going to wind up going to court, drag on for quite a while before they figure
Gotta
out,
love monopolies.
you know, can we allow this or not? And all sides fighting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I got a big packet in the mail about the stock, right? And I put it to the side, and and it was one of these. They send out marketing information to stockholders right now, and they'll say things like, this is what's going on, and this is why we think you should vote this way. Usually, it comes from the board of one of the companies, right? So I put it to the side and just read it. Do you know within the week it had changed? So all that stuff they sent out, it didn't matter because it was thrown out anyhow. I was like, oh, that was a waste of time. So I was glad I didn't bother reading that one.
All right, let's talk about some good news, some positive news. Did you see this? The new Iron Lung movie that Markiplier did?
I did. Very interesting.
Mark Fishbach, one of the OGs of YouTube. It's crazy. You want to know what's crazy?
Kind of a dark theme movie, but okay.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, though? He and I have been doing YouTube for about as long.
No comment.
It's tough. It's tough out here in these streets. Okay, anyway. So Markiplier did this video.
Does his mom take time to do things with him?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mark.
Mom, you swear at me all the time outside of it. You're like, why am I doing this? You tell me all the time, I want to stop doing this. And I'm like, no, Mom, please, for your son. But this is pretty cool. So Markiplier, everyone knows Markiplier. Literally the backbone of YouTube for the first 10 years of YouTube's existence. Absolute OG. Literally Mount Rushmore of YouTubers. Nicest guy in the world. Never met him, but I know he's nice. So fortunate enough that he has the funds to be able to do this, right? So with his own personal money, he makes this movie. I'm sure he had some investors in the making, but he promoted it, said, hey, I'm going to pay for it to be in 200 movie theaters. It did so well. His fans went to go see it. Did so well that it got from 200 theaters to 3,000 theaters across the country. Now, I know what you're thinking. 3,000 is not a lot, but let's be honest. The movie industry, especially the theater industry, is kind of in dire straits right now. I think that's fair to say. I don't know anyone who goes to the movies anymore, unless it's AMC, where I can lean back, get a full 5-course meal. And even
his deal was with Regal. Regal's the one that took it on. Regal Cinema.
Yeah, and then that just blew it up. And then he did so well, but it's right number 2 in the box office right now. I don't know what it's behind. But to do that by yourself when Hollywood's struggling to do it is crazy.
Melania.
No, Melania's below. I saw she's 4th right now, which is crazy. But
the movie industry, there's something going on with Melania.
Yeah, love her, but let's be honest, there's no way her documentary is that good. So films put in theaters are still down 20% compared to pre-pandemic, which, I mean, I don't know how these movie theaters these companies haven't shut down yet, but yeah, his Iron Lung movie is doing fantastic. It's just nice to see a YouTuber do something on their own and actually have a global impact. So we'll see what ends up happening to it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it overseas too, and that would be huge for Markiplier. But for one single man, a YouTuber, to just dominate like that and be number 2 in the box office is historical. So I think it said it's the biggest grossing movie of any independent person.
Oh, filmmaker, huh?
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to bad news. No, this isn't so much bad news.
One.
Okay, I have a problem with this one a little bit. So we never really talk about this guy, but Linus Tech Tips, another OG YouTuber, big. He's one of the first people I would say created a company on YouTube that has multiple people, multiple buildings. Between him and Rooster Teeth, I think they were really the only ones that made a giant company. So a lot of his employees have left over the last 2 years. And it wasn't a mass leaving. It's more I'm leaving. One guy leaves 4 months, then another 6 months later, another guy.
Right.
And then they did this video. The company of Linus Tech Tips does a video on basically the financial breakdown of how much money Linus, the CEO, the guy who started everything, the guy who built the company with his own finances, took out bank loans and all this. You can see where I'm going here. Where basically the breakdown of how employees get paid, how certain people get paid in the company. And then now a lot of these fellow or former employees are making their videos about why they left, how they felt like they weren't appreciated, how they weren't making enough. And then it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Not so much on Linus. Like, he's the one getting the heat right now, but it kind of went to show how many people don't understand how a company is run. So people are upset with Linus because he makes so much money as a shareholder, the main shareholder and the CEO, right? Or a former CEO. He was a CEO, someone took it over. But again, the company is still him. Without him, no one's watching. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like a lot of the employees were a little upset that he was making so much and they weren't, when in reality, they're kind of just employees. You know, like, you didn't watch the video. I watched the video of the breakdown of costs of things, not just employees, but sending things overseas. They do all their shipping themselves. They don't use a third-party company. Videos, cameras, inventory. Like, people forget it costs money just to inventory things. So when you see the breakdown, it makes so much sense. And I was kind of baffled by how many people were upset that their favorite people on the channel weren't making as much as they thought. And it's like, well, yeah, guys, that's how a company works. When you have a company of over 100, I think 200 employees, you can't pay everyone $100,000 plus, right? So, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to see.
I really think people, and I'm going to throw in an age, 45 and under, maybe 40 and under. They're all just socialist wannabes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is something to that.
Successful.
Right.
It's just not fair that somebody else is making more money. That's becoming the mindset. Yeah.
And I would agree with that, but you're talking about the guy who's the CEO of the company, who built the company himself. It was just him and his wife, and then people got brought on, right? They single-handedly grew this company to what it is today, which, I mean, I don't know what the worth of it is, but it's got to be a couple $100 million just based on what he does and the sponsorships and stuff. But there's a whole process. You can't just give yourself money, obviously, but there's a whole statistical process and financial equation on how much Linus should be making, right?
Yeah.
There's not, and then there's another one for people whose name isn't in the company, right? Whose name isn't on literally Linus Tech Tips. Right. So,
and this is America. If you think you deserve more money, you ask for it. And if the person who writes your check says no,
you go find another job. Yeah, that's how it works.
They control it, right? If you're being discriminated against or whatever, you have grounds to say, hey, I generate revenue for this company. If there are other YouTubers or whatever who's involved in it, I don't know. You make the case.
Right. Now,
but the other social mentality of, well, he made more, now I deserve a piece of that, or somebody else deserves a piece of it. Sorry, that's not how it works.
Right.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
So
that's America.
One of the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't know which way yet, I'm still kind of on the fence, is the employee said, it was weird looking at me. It was weird watching videos of me help build my boss's third house. And I was like, well, hold on. Your boss is allowing you into his house to make content and improve your life because you're part of the videos, right? So you're getting the credit you deserve, but also you're doing your job. Sure, you're right. You deserve more money, maybe, but you don't. It's not that you don't deserve 3 houses. It's like, hold on, you're not the CEO, the executive. You're not the one making the decisions. You're not the one that took bank loans out years ago to get this company started that there's a good chance you'll never pay back. So, Again, there's a reason he has 3 houses. There's a reason he could have 5 houses.
And by the way, I'm quite certain you didn't pay the taxes that this guy had to pay over the years for his personal income and for the houses and the properties. And you would be complaining that you'd have to do that. You know, I'm all for everybody making their fair share. Don't get me wrong. I don't think people should not be compensated. But then you get a contract that says you do that. Or you go talk to people and say, I'm leaving if I don't get compensated. You don't moan after the fact when you see on paper what somebody made or when they disclose it financially. Now you want a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way in America. Sorry. Jamie Dimon owns
hold on real fast. Sure. So these guys are in Canada, just so you know. It's a Canadian company, right? It's not much different, but I just want to make sure that there's that distinction. I agree. So everything you're saying, I agree with. The thing that really kind of rubs me the wrong way is, okay, you were still given an opportunity to be in a major company that promoted you further in
Right.
life. Like your channel, like no offense to the guy, because I'm sure he's a great dude, right? He was a good employee, he was good on the show. You wouldn't be where you are in your YouTube channel if it wasn't for Linus to begin with. So he gave you a foundation that most people would kill for. And now
Right.
you're kind of turning on him and saying, "Hey, I wasn't getting paid enough and it's time to leave." You have the right to do that, but you can't be mad
Yeah.
at him saying you're just not really worth more than what you're already getting paid. So,
Right.
and again, there's other employees that the company has to pay. You have certain caps and certain percentages that you have to hit. And if the company's not making more money, that doesn't mean everyone else gets paid more. That's not how that works.
I mean, like I said, it's this mindset that everybody deserves a piece of the pie, that
Yeah.
nobody should be able
An
to make the
equal
most
piece of the
money.
pie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, or I should get my fair share. Just as an aside, there was a knucklehead. I think it's a teacher. He's maybe in his mid-30s. They interviewed him in New York City, and they said, "Well, what do you think they should do if businesses leave because the taxes? Oh, we're going to take over. They should take over the businesses. We should take these businesses from them. We'll
Yeah, which
take
is
their
hilarious.
building, their business, their property, and then tax them before they leave. This is a socialist mentality." You have no right to that. A person has the right to sell their business and get out of a state and take their assets with them if they want to. But this is the mindset, Chris. No, no, you don't own your business, just like this guy. No, he doesn't own his business. He has to share anything above and beyond with the rest of us. That's
Yeah.
not how it works in a capitalist system.
Yeah.
You want a socialist system, go right ahead, but then you won't have YouTubes and stuff like this
Yeah.
because eventually the government will take them over and say, all of you shut up. We're going to take it over and run it. We'll take advantage of the revenue and we'll give you what we think you deserve. That's what these
Yeah.
underlings. And the funny part is, Chris, if the roles were reversed, I'm quite sure this individual wouldn't want to be giving up their houses, right?
Yeah.
Paying their employees more money. They'd be the first ones to say, "Hey, I earned this,
When
and I
you
gave you
yeah,
a platform."
when people see when you see how hard it is to build a business in general, especially one on YouTube that is so, I mean, the odds of doing it are slim to none. Like, I think it's almost naive to look at Linus and say like, "Oh, I deserve as much as him." Like, it doesn't. You have to be so delusional to kind of think that. But also, again, you're an employee. He's the owner. Like, that's the part that I just can't wrap my head
Yeah,
around, that they thought that they should be not paying as much as him, but paid more than what they were getting in comparison to other employees, right? Don't get me wrong, the guy was a big person on the channel, right?
sure.
But to say I should be making about, which he didn't say, he never said this, but if you think that your income's supposed to be close to Linus, the sole shareholder, you're crazy. Between him and his
Right,
wife.
and if his compensation was supposedly tied to how the company did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some revelation from this financial, you said he put something out about his financial. If you see a revelation that, wait a minute, I was gypped. I was contractually, I was supposed to get a certain amount of that money he's boasting about. Now you got a case to go to court.
Right.
But to just arbitrarily say after the fact, hey, you know what, I should have made more. Maybe the guy's right, but that's not how the capitalist system works.
Right.
But we also have the opportunity while we're in it to say, you know what, I'll either take my skills and go somewhere else to another platform, or I'll start my own platform, which this person probably didn't want to do that because it costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time. Look what this guy went through to do that, right? Or you deal with these individuals and say, hey, I think I should get more money, and you try and negotiate.
Hmm.
So that's how the system works, and that's really the best way to do it. Otherwise, you get to the point where what these people are asking for was, well, we should have some of his money that he made.
Right. All right. Let's do our last one for the day, and then we could do some viewer questions. New drug may help spinal cord injury patients regain function and hope. Now, I didn't read this one. I know this one talks about Chicago, but I just saw Brazil actually cleared. They just came up with some drug that fixes paralysis.
Hmm.
So,
Well, this is a man by the name of Dr. Silver
tell me about
Lang.
it. I just have to pee really bad.
Okay.
Keep going, mother.
So, Dr. Lang Dr. Silver's the one. He spent 40 years trying to figure out why spinal cords, of all things, don't regenerate. So he took he looked at a lot of spinal cord injuries, obviously. There's those things called the axons, and they connect to other areas of the body and send signals down these axons, and that's what triggers your body motions and movements. When their paths get severed, what happens is they sit kind of idly. So there's no connection made, and they start growing into, say, scar tissue and whatnot. The drug that he discovered is called NVG 291. And what that does is a series of injections. So I think the patients go through it over, I think they said 6 weeks in the article. They inject you with this. The axons they found would start to grow. And wherever they could, they would bypass, say, the scar tissue to connect and make those connections. So the signals can now travel through the body.
Right.
They're going to have to go through another clinical trial, but they tested mainly on mice first. But there's a woman from Chicago who is now walking because of it and able to do things she was never able to do before with these connections. It's not perfect yet, obviously,
Right.
but for her, it's a lifesaver.
Did you see, not to change topics so fast, but you saw that it's a Spanish guy living in Germany, I believe, who cured pancreatic cancer? Did you see this guy?
I saw that he has a cure, but it has to go through more trials.
And he has to pay. He's fundraising for trials to be done. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that one I think is still in the mice level. I don't know if they did one control group of humans. So this one they've been doing a control group with several individuals, I think from different areas. Unfortunately, and it also helps with other things. So people with paralysis, I didn't realize this. This woman got her sense of taste back. She had an injury that damaged two of her cervical, two of the spinals. Sense of taste back. Her body temperature was coming back to normal because I guess she had trouble regulating. The body did. Her bladder functions are better. I mean, it's incredible that all these other things were impacted. Dr. Silver died in 2025. So unfortunately, he can't see firsthand the results or meet the people, if you will. But the potential for this is amazing. And they're hoping that they'll get through the next round of clinical trials. And if all goes well, by 2027, they may have shots to give people with paralysis to get them moving again.
Well, the spine itself, just the spine in general, it's incredible. Like when you just see spinal compression, like when the discs, that causes problems in itself. So you always want to make sure your spine's as healthy as possible. Spinal decompression, way to go. Just hang, like just literally just hang on a bar, 15, 30 seconds. Perfect. I got my neck crank thing that I've been using. Another one. My Christmas one. Oof.
The spine is an amazing thing in the sense that it is so delicate, yet it takes a lot of abuse in the course of a lifetime. I mean, you think about
between
people
twisting, just twisting.
They bang into things with their back. You're surprised that more of us are paralyzed all the time. That it does respond as well as it does, the way it's formed and just in general. I mean, the thought of it, we can bend, we can move, and yet we have all these major connections there going from the brain to the whole body. And it's incredible if they can do this, because how many times have we heard about young people especially having paralysis?
It's funny how like the body can take so many major hits, and what I mean by that is you see people that'll survive like a 3-story fall. But at the same time, any little bit of impact can cause CTE, right? Like if you just get hit in the stomach hard enough, I mean, the brain goes back, whiplash. Like there's a lot of.
Well, there was a speaker at some event I went to with Dad. He was crippled, and he tells a story. And he is a motivational speaker, but I just always remember his story. He described it as like the banana. His back is a banana. He just hit it in the exact spot at the right moment to cause the damage he did. Like one of these, a hair one way, he'd be fine. A hair the other way. But just that fluky thing but I mean, fluky or not, it happens for some people. They just happen to get hit by that car, the right spot, as they're literally leaning over to get something, and that triggers something. So yeah, it's if they can fix this, that would be incredible. And it could lead to a lot of other treatments for a lot of other things, just like the pancreatic cancer that I was reading, that it may not be limited to that. It's a new approach to treating cancers, right?
Yeah,
so
which would be huge.
It could have an impact on other things.
Just because chemo is such it's so harsh on the body. Like if we could do anything besides chemo.
Well, they're even getting better about that, I have to tell you. I mean, it's even chemo nowadays, not everybody's going to lose their hair. Not everybody's going to have all the side effects that they used to have, right?
Hmm.
So they've improved the treatment. But, there's always that conspiracy theory that we found a cure for cancer a long time ago. The pharmaceutical industries won't.
Yeah, and
I don't know if that's true or not,
and
but
like 30 scientists have died. Whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, we have just finished all of the articles, so now we can open it up to fan questions. If anyone's still here and has questions, we'll give it a little bit.
I'm sure they'll
You can
find
ask
the answer
anything.
to the cure for cancer in the Epstein files.
Yeah, right.
Every other conspiracy thing is in there.
I saw he had a lot of scientists that just worked at that island.
Yeah, worked.
Yeah. Like,
Like
God knows what they were trying to. That's probably who gave what's his name the UTI stuff.
As I said, I mean, I'm not as shocked anymore, just based on the volume of the information coming out of that I didn't know Epstein, just because he seems to know every freaking person on this planet, and I'm not as phased when they say, "Oh, so and so met him at a party."
Right.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure he schmoozed with everybody at every party
Yeah.
and tried to rope you into his little.
Well, did you see Bill Gates' wife
Web.
talk about? Oh, you froze on me. Did you? Oh, bad look. Bad look. Look at that. That's a tough.
Me?
Yeah, that was a tough freeze
Oh,
frame
sorry.
you just had
I'm
there.
not frozen on my end.
your
Sorry.
internet's falling apart. It's okay. You saw Bill Gates' wife did some interview, and she was like, "The second I walked in, I knew he was a bad guy." I was like, "Did you? Because were you the only one out of 7,000 celebrities who knew?"
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, "Come on, let's
Yeah.
not bullshit here." But she's like, "I knew from the second I shook his hand that he was an awful person." I was like, "Sure, okay, whatever floats your boat."
Oh, well, you know what? Howard Lutnick, he and his wife live next door to Epstein in New York City. He's on Trump's cabinet. Okay.
Oh, really?
He made a point of saying, "Oh, the minute we walked into his condo the first time he invited us for drinks, we knew he was weird and we swore we'd never see him again." Well, that's not what the emails say. Apparently, you were in contact with him. Oh, let's have dinner. Let's do this, let's that. So, yeah, again, now, does that make him an evil guy who did inappropriate things? Not that we know of yet, but it's a little egg on your face, buddy. You said you had nothing to do with him,
Yeah.
where, now apparently that's not true.
But I wonder, like, again, if you
So, I
didn't
mean,
go
I'm
to
less
the
shocked when people say no that they knew him.
yeah, if you went to the
Go ahead.
island, if he was someone that thought Epstein was this cool guy, maybe funny, a little weird, and in New York City, that's common. Weird people that are eccentric or eclectic is the word. But you weren't
Sounds
going to
like
the
it.
island, and you wouldn't really know what was going on. So that's why it's kind of like, yeah,
Right.
I don't know not justifying anything, but yeah, I just wonder what the
Well, I can see based now, like I said, I always had this opinion that he was this creepy guy with this handful of creepy weirdos that did these things on these islands that nobody knows about, right?
right.
But now when you see how connected he was and all the stuff he was involved in, I can see somebody from, oh, I don't know, the board of Harvard. I got to go down to his island to have a meeting with him, right? I'm having a meeting with the guy. He's got millions and millions of dollars. He wants to invest in some research we're doing. Okay. I can see going down there. You get off the plane, you go to a meeting room, you meet with the guy. You're not getting a vibe necessarily from that island unless you go to some of the wackadoodle parts. You may have a perfect, you get on the plane, you go home. Does that make you one of, Epstein's, partners in crime? I can see how that could happen. And some people might say, listen, I did meet with him. I'm not going to hide it. Nothing happened. I didn't see anything. I would have reported and I left. And this was the business we did. But then if it turns out you kept going back and you find out that, well, now all of a sudden your story's a little bit shaky. So same thing with somebody like this Lutnick guy. I was fine with, okay, if my neighbor, I went and I saw him. All right, I could see that happening. But why lie about it? That you never saw
Yeah.
him again and wanted nothing to do
Just to
with
clear
him.
your name, knowing
That's
full
the
well
part
that
with these
people are going to
people.
figure it out. I think that's the problem. They think that no one's going to find out. Right? Oh, it was 30 years ago. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So, all
Well,
right.
why would somebody be surprised that Trump did know him? Of course he would have met him.
Crap. That was me, but I thought did good this week. Of course, when we're doing
You need
did good this week. Of course, when we're doing, I'm just waiting. What sucks about this together? Reset.
Yeah.
It'll.
Is that because everybody's on? That because a lot of people are on.
Yeah, it's tough. It looks like it's fixing itself. It's just.
I can't hear.
It's fine.
It's locked.
1 sec.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Let me. Yeah, it's good now. So let me just 1 second. End call, and then reconnect. Maybe it is the both of us. Who knows? But it just fixed itself. So actually, I think it is kind of my mom's end as well. Just a bad internet day. That's a shame. Surprisingly, I didn't lose that many frames. Mother. Mumsy. Mumsy. There you go.
There you are.
Yeah, mine just reset. It just takes these random dips, and it's just because it's a crappy internet company.
Oh.
Like they got to figure it out. Optimum's terrible. I've been talking to I think I'm gonna start doing the Starlink. Starlink's just gotten too good, and it's cheaper, and better. So why am I sharing a line with 800 other people when I could just have something that's just Wi-Fi based?
But how do you mount Starlink in an apartment?
I'm gonna have to figure that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll drill a goddamn hole if I have to for good internet.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky one, but.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it even reset.
Well, I have a Starlink, just so you know. Santa
I know.
got it for me this year.
You're welcome.
I have not hooked it up. I know.
You're welcome.
Did see it's cheaper. I was turning my friend onto it because she's terrible internet at her house.
You have to. You have to. Yeah, surprisingly, it actually didn't cut out completely. So good. Kept it as one video. Less work I have to do. So, do we have any questions from viewers? I don't think so. I think we talked too much and everyone's gone.
Yeah, that's probably true.
We'll give it a few minutes though. What are the Super Bowl plans for tomorrow?
We're so thorough. Nobody has questions. What are the Super Bowl plans?
Yeah, really.
Well, we decided to get Chinese food.
Oh, you are doing Chinese?
Well, we were going to do it tonight, but Dad said, "Listen, we won't eat it till really late, so let's wait for tomorrow." Excuse me, it's just us. So I said, "Okay, we'll get early Chinese food. Watch the Super Bowl. We do have a football cake. Gotta have the football cake."
You have.
And yeah, that's about it. That's our big plans. Are you going over to your aunt's?
Oh, yeah. They asked me to make snack requests. I didn't have any. I'll just go with whatever. Oh. But yeah, that's why I got to get a good workout in tonight just so I can eat a little bit more than usual. But
yeah, well, but the diet started. Didn't you announce that at the beginning?
Yeah, I just have to make sure not to eat anything tomorrow until dinner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then keep going until what, 10 o'clock at night?
No, I'm pretty good about that. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what time the game ends, but I don't know. I'm more interested in the commercials, as we talked about before. I don't really care that much about the actual game. See, I think your internet's just as bad today, Mother. Mumsy.
Hi.
Mumsy. Look at this. This is incredible. It all starts to fall apart. Mumsy. You're frozen, Mumsy. Mumsy. The struggle is real. The beauty of Discord podcasts. And terrible internet. There you go.
I'm calling you on the speakerphone.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. You keep knocking your computer. You keep every time you leave and come back, your camera goes up more and more.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you doing? Punching it? Are you like stupid thing? Stupid?
No, maybe I moved it to find my phone to call you because you couldn't hear me.
Yeah,
and the dog was wanted me to pat him. He just came downstairs. Bo just came down.
Gotcha.
Yeah, neither Dad nor I are that thrilled with the game.
Yeah, I don't care that much about the Super Bowl.
About into either team, could care less who wins.
Yeah.
The commercials are always fun. We beg doing the party just because no one's around.
Which is crazy. Yeah. No,
and it's always risky with the weather too. To have somebody come here, whether it's you or even our friends to drive up. I would have offered, but I'm like, you know what? It's a lot to ask of people look how you got stranded with your flights and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not fun right now.
All right. Well, I don't see any viewer questions, Mom, so we can wrap this one up. We did an hour 40. Not a bad one.
Hour 40.
Yeah,
that's long for us. Our recorded ones, you only do an hour.
Yeah, we had some extra. Articles today, so yeah, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, you had a lot today.
I
only did 3. I didn't realize it was a live one, but also I said, oh well, Chris is going to come with 3. That should be enough for now.
Yeah, I had a couple more. We had some good convos, good conversations. But all right, we'll wrap it up there. Only things I have to promote. Let me think. We had the podcast from last week. This will be out on Monday on YouTube for those of you that missed it. Spotify Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't even remember what I posted on Wednesday. Finished the Cristala walkthrough. I don't know if that was this week. Posted a bunch of the Lego walkthroughs for the Harry Potter thing. That thing is, I'm chunking that thing, mother. It is. You should have seen Aunt Sue and Grandma's face yesterday when they saw it. They were like, whoa. And then, what else?
People are going to speed those up, Chris.
I know.
Put you at
but this thing's is getting huge. So, but yeah, so that, and then, what else? What did I post yesterday? Yesterday was what? Oh, I played a game. I posted a video on a game called Escape from Ever After. Very fun game. It's like old Paper Mario. But yeah. And then social media, promo codes, stream links, Discord. And I'll see you on Monday. I don't know when you'll see Mom. I told everyone we're going to do a second live podcast probably later in the month. So that way we bang out too because we missed December's. So yeah.
That's okay. Yeah.
All right.
I'll pencil it in.
Pencil it in, Mom. Get it in your calendar.
Get it in the calendar.
Also, we won't because we have the wedding in March. So, that's the beginning of March, right?
Beginning of March.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that. So that works out. But then we have to figure out Jen's thing. I still have to talk to Jen. About Jen's podcast and her show. But yeah, that's about it. So again, social media, promo code, stream links, Discord, and we will see you guys next week. So later.
Bye.